Welcome to Redbeard and the Den of Tools. Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the Den of Tools. And today we're here to address a rumor that's going around. A lot of you have posted recent comments about it, and you want to know if it's true that our beloved Hercules is being discontinued. Yep, that's the story. Apparently, posted over on Reddit, somebody with some really high-level insider knowledge, higher than any of my contacts apparently at Harbor Freight know, is that it hasn't been officially announced yet, but that the Hercules cordless tools are being discontinued. The stock stores have on hand currently is all that they will be receiving, and official plans for selling off the displays will be coming soon. Now, he also comments that he's less sure about it, but there's a chance that they may be coming back in a different color, too close to the Makita colors, he's guessing. Now, I'll be frank. I saw this when it was posted. I didn't comment on it because it seemed, there was nothing backing this up. There was the only person saying this, but apparently it's gotten some legs in that people are freaking out about it, and I've had dozens of people either email me or IM me or post to the message boards saying that, hey, is this true? Is this really going on? And I know a lot of people have been freaking out because, let's be honest, a lot of the stores are out of stock on Hercules product. So what could it be? What's going on? Well, here's where they here's the reasons, the different reasons that people online have come up with as to why they think this is really true, that this is really going on. As I said, first of all, they think it's the color. It's too close to the Makita color. Secondly, somebody supposed that it's the batteries. Maybe DeWalt is suing them over the batteries being too similar. A lot of people say it's because the sales for Hercules are just horrible. They're stating the reason that they're so bad is that there's no strategy, that they're too expensive, and that they might change batteries. Basically, that people are worried that they wouldn't buy into the system because Harbor Freight, they can't trust them because they could change batteries at any minute. And then also that Disney might be suing them over the name Hercules. All right, well, let's talk about some of these, okay? First of all, let's talk about the color. Here, what I've worked up here is kind of a color wheel, if you will, of the power tool spectrum. And this is, I'll be honest, I've looked into this a lot. We've talked about this. Some of us have kind of speculated, saying that, some new companies come out doing this. And then we thought about, well, what color would they come in at? And let's be honest, anybody who stated that they think that the color may be going away or coming back in a different color because it's too close to Makita makes me wonder how much they really know about power tools. Because anybody who knows anything about power tools knows the color spectrum here it's pretty chock full, isn't it? We got DeWalt, Bostitch, AEG, Rigid, Bead, Black & Decker, Fine. The red is, oh my gosh, Skill, Snap-on, Milwaukee, Bauer. By the way, there's many more that aren't on here, and some that are in subtle, different hue patterns and stuff. So this is just some of the bigger ones. We got Ryobi and Festool in the light green, Hitachi in mid green, Makita, Metabo over there in that kind of teal-esque kind of color. Hercules kind of blending in between those two colors. We've got Cobalt and Bosch. And then at the bottom, we have the no-go colors for manly tools, and we only see off-brands marketed toward the women and stuff by morons who think women want pretty tools. In black, we got Rockwell Warrior and Works, dark gray and the Porter Cables, light gray and the Ingersoll Rand Craftsman, and brown. I mean, besides bears, who wants brown tools? Really, if you marketed your tool in brown, you're just setting yourself up for some really bad pun-type comparisons there. So, and then in the center in white, I've seen some Makita stuff in white. I think I've seen a few other off-brands and stuff in white. But honestly, white's not a great color for a power tool because it's just going to get dirty and start looking horrible right after that. So the fact of the matter, anybody, as I said, who says, oh, well, it's too close to this color, you're kind of out of luck. In fact, DeWalt was one of the last major companies to come in and find a color all to themselves. And that's one of the main reasons they went with yellow. So there's not really anything left on the old color wheel there. Now as to the batteries. Now they do look an awful lot alike. You got to admit that. They're pretty close. And in fact, they can almost slot in identically. But they're not. And the fact of the matter is that having something close is a hard sell when it comes to patent infringement. You got to go with a design patent there, and design patents they're iffy at best. They're not the best way to try to protect your trademark. And Harbor Freight there isn't known for backing down from a patent fight there or a trademark fight. As you know, with the old Snap-on, where they went toe-to-toe with Snap-on and basically threatened to file a counter lawsuit, and at which point Snap-on dropped their lawsuit and said, please don't. That basically being over the fact that the Snap-on tools there, the jack was actually made in China, even though they were pushing strongly their made in America trade there, or trademarks on their other tools, and then loosely associating that to the jack. Anyway, as I said, Harbor Freight's faced a lot of lawsuits from other companies in the past, and they're not one to back down on them. Now, what we have here is, a lot of people say there's no strategy, and I get a chuckle at that because apparently the whole good, better, best thing is something they don't get. Many companies over the years have used a good, better, best strategy. Power tools, especially TTI, very strong with their Milwaukee Rigid Ryobi lineup. Yes, Rigid is technically owned by Emerson, but licensed from them for TTI and made by TTI. And then also you have Stanley Black & Decker with the DeWalt Porter Cable Black & Decker lineup. Recently they acquired Craftsman. Not quite sure exactly how that's going to fit into the lineup. Maybe in there between the DeWalt and Porter Cable, we'll have to see. Historically speaking, it's been very popular. You had Dodge Chrysler Plymouth, you had Ford Lincoln Mercury. Now, granted, in many cases, the three-tier strategy didn't work out, but it wasn't usually the upper end that went away. It was the middle brands that got absorbed by the lower brand expanding up, the top brand expanding down, and absorbing that middle brand and having it go away. In both of those cases, it was the central brand in Plymouth and Mercury that are gone. And you see more focus there on the high end. And why on the high end? Well, that's where the profit margins are. And we covered this pretty good in the video just the other day, how Harbor Freight was approaching their good, better, best Goldilocks plan with the Warrior, Bauer, and Hercules. If any of these were to go away, I'd have to expect it would be Bauer. Yeah, Bauer's having fabulous sales, but it'd be easy enough to transition those into Warrior and Hercules. Because again, the profit margins are at the high end, not the bottom end. There's some in the middle, but companies want to push that high-end product. Now, they talked about, it's too expensive compared to the competition. And you can argue this, that, and the other thing. I say when you compare it against this DeWalt, I'm sorry, but this DeWalt brushed one that's in that kind of price point, and including their brush ones, anything in that $100 price point there from DeWalt is kind of a joke. And you could say, well, DeWalt has a 3-year warranty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but their warranty is kind of a joke also. They have one of the worst customer support records in the major power tool industry. Now, you could argue, well, the Milwaukee's not doing so bad, and it's not. It's not doing so bad. In fact, Milwaukee, though, has had to push up the size of their batteries, now offering a 3-amp hour battery in their baseline for $100. Wonder where that pressure is coming from. Yeah, the old Harbor Freights is where that's coming from. And another thing, people talking about, well, you can't trust him. Yeah, I wouldn't want to invest in, Harbor Freight because, they could abandon that battery platform at any minute. Yeah, because Harbor Freight has a long history of abandoning battery platforms. Oh, wait. No, that's DeWalt abandoning the 18-volt buyers who they promised, no, we're committed to this in the long run, and then immediately, like the next year, dropping it. Oops. And, was there another company? Oh, yeah. Those 28-volt buyers over at Milwaukee who got left behind and now have to go searching for third-party batteries like this one, and no future tools coming out because Milwaukee said, oh, we're totally invested in this new 28-volt lineup. Sorry, guys. Now, Harbor Freight's been around for a long time. Remember, they've been there since the 70s. They supported their NiCad battery line longer than almost anybody else. So to sit there and say that they would ditch somebody, right off the bat, there's no history for that. And they've got history with this company. It's not like they just showed up overnight. Now, as far as the argument against Disney's going to sue them over the Hercules name, I don't know what to say about that. Okay, moving on. Here's what they lack in these arguments: any actual facts. It's like they're desperate for the drama. In my family, we call them drama llamas. People searching, hoping, they want to see somebody fail. It's kind of an American tendency. We love to see the people who are on top doing great fail, and we love to see the underdog take them out. Till the underdog's on top, then we like to see them fail too. It's an odd, feeling of the U.S. mentality. Harbor Freight's got billions of dollars, $58 billion that they make. And here's what you got to understand that's different from them from most other retailers. They sell all their own products. All right. Now they do have a handful of products that are, that they buy and sell from somebody else, but all the major brands and stuff that they sell is their own product, which means they're cutting out the middleman, and they're still making more money than the other guys. And, that's what every retailer wishes they could do that. Even the biggest retailers out there are trying to do that. Amazon Basics. I mean, if you guys have been Amazon shoppers or heard the news, there's lots of resellers screaming and crying and wailing that Amazon has started undercutting them by offering almost the same product with Amazon's brand on it. Why do you think they're doing that? Because they want to be just like Harbor Freight, totally vertical in their sales process. That's where the big bucks are, if you will. Now, also consider this as far as facts go. Recently, the Bear here did a review on the Hercules recip saw and the new Hercules circ saw. If you're about to can a whole new line, billions of dollars of investment, you got to think about that, into a battery platform, are you going to all of a sudden launch two new tools? That doesn't make much sense. Think about it. Boy, you talk about shooting yourself in the foot. If Harbor Freight really wanted to kill themselves and make sure that all those rumors came true about, well, you can't trust this company. If they didn't learn from DeWalt's mistake, people are still crying about the fact that I'll never buy DeWalt because they screwed me over with this battery platform. Think of all the millions of people who've bought into the Herc line who would never buy from Harbor Freight ever again. I think one of the things that people are really missing the fact on, and what's probably the most obvious reason why this is going on, and maybe this person just misheard, which is they're changing the Hercules line. And I don't have an official reason as to why, but if I had to guess, I think it might have something to the fact that it looks a little too DeWaltish, if you will, and it doesn't look like their own thing. And I think they want it to be their own thing. I think they want Hercules to be that high level, premium brand that really says, we're a real tool company and we're all our own. And I think with this mold here that it looks a little bit too much like, some of the other brands out there. As such, Harbor Freight has started selling this tool in a new mold. This is the version 1.5, we call it. The internals are all the same. The specs are all the same. They just changed the plastic molding on the outside to make it look different, to make it look more their own. That's my hypothesis. But I think that may be what this memo this guy went off on is about. Not that Hercules line is being discontinued, but that the old line is being discontinued and replaced with this. Really easy to see it from the back. You can really tell it is a real difference there. The flat back, you can lay it down on its back. You can set it down. There's the old Impact. Here's the new Impact, same kind of similar design. And I think what they might be doing is selling through what they have in stock and not wanting to mix stock. Because can you imagine seeing one of these sitting on the store shelf and then end up buying one of those and being like, hey, are they selling me some old last year's model? And being pretty miffed about it. So yeah, they're probably trying to sell these or get rid of those so they can put these on store shelves. They got to get rid of the demos up there also. So I can see that happening. It's another thing here is that it's Harbor Freight's, how do I say this? They're pretty simple in the way they do business. They're not overly complex kind of creatures. And every time that they have phased something out, it's ended up here in the clearance section on Harbor Freight's website. In fact, not to give away too many trade secrets, but that's quite often where the bear finds out, hey, this is getting discontinued, or there's a new product coming out because they're discontinuing the old one and putting the new one in here. That's a little pro tip there for you. You know what? But I decided to take it a step further. So this is Eric Schmidt, founder and CEO, owner of Harbor Freight. And I decided to give Eric a call. I know he's a fan of the channel, and I decided to give him a call and ask him personally, hey, what's the deal on this? Is Hercules going away? And Eric said, and I quote, "If you ever call me again, I'm turning you into a rug." Well, there you have it. I think that's pretty concise. We're never bothering Eric again. No, I kid. I'm like I have his phone number. Anyway, the point of the matter is this. Don't believe everything you read on the internets. And even if you do find something, it may be true, but, run it through your fact filter first. Does it make sense? Does it check all the boxes? And at the end of the day, the bear could be wrong. If they were going to pull the plug on something like this, they may not tell the people that I know, and they may be making a change into something more bold and more amazing. Who knows? But my take on it is that, Eric's a guy he built this company from scratch from when he was a teenager. You should go back and watch my video, The History of Harbor Freight. This is a guy for whom winning is an obsession. All right. You don't become a billionaire by taking the easy road and, just pulling the plug if after a year or two things aren't going well for you. You tough it through, you find new ways to do it, and you overcome. For him, I'm betting, establishing this presence in the power tool industry, I bet it's a personal thing for him. I bet because I'll be honest, if I had $5 billion in my pocket, I don't think I'd be working again. I'd probably be retired. I'd be sitting on a beach with the Mrs. DeBear having a pina colada or something, getting my furs tanned and whatnot. But for Eric, he's not that kind of bear. He's kind of just going to go out there and do it again. He gets up every day. He's really involved in the business. If you've seen, he's responded to comments here on the channel. That's not somebody who's going to take this kind of thing laying down, who's just going to give up because, woe is me, I didn't have great sales the first year. He's the kind of guy who's going to double down. He's going to split that pair and go for it. So, I don't know. Again, Bear might be wrong, but I wouldn't bet on Hercules being down and out. I bet more that they're just rebranding and repositioning and coming back with new molds to hit it hard this Christmas holiday. Anyway, well, time will tell. We shall see. And you know what? That's all the Bear has for you today. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.